Hey guys, back one more time to share some thoughts after I've seen my official score report for the exam. I want to talk mainly about the adaptivity of the test and the way that scoring appears to be working on the Focus Edition, which might be a little bit different from the older version of the GMAT. So, my official score report showed that I missed two questions late in the verbal section. I missed the very last reading comp question, which was question number 19. And then I also missed a critical reasoning right after it on question 20. So I missed both of those two questions. Everything else was correct. But even with those two questions missed, the score for the section was an 89 out of 90, which I think is a little bit unusual. Normally, if you're going to miss two questions, your score is going to be lower than that. So what that tells me about the Focus Edition scoring is that it's very much taking into account the difficulty level of the questions that you have missed. And I can tell you the two questions I missed were certainly very hard. So hold that up against another case that I have with a client currently who took the Focus Edition and missed only one question out of 21 on quant, and his quant score was an 80 out of 90, which is about, I think, 60th percentile, missing only one question. So here's the story behind that. On his first run through the quant section, he had missed question number 1, question number 7, and question number 8. And then after finishing the section, he went back and corrected number 1 and number 8, and then leaving number 7 as the only one that remained incorrect when his time expired. So how did he end up with a relatively okay quant score after such a great performance? I think that question 1 and question 8 that he missed on his first run through must have been relatively easy questions. And here's how this question review and edit works. The test is still making its decisions about your ability level in a chronological way. That is, if you're missing easy questions early on, it's going to penalize you rather heavily, and it's going to drastically affect the average difficulty of the questions that you see from that point on. So as my client missed a couple of easy questions early, the section became rather easy, and that's what he reported to me about it. So going back and fixing those easy questions and getting them correct at the end didn't really change his score that much, because the potential for the section was lower based upon having missed those questions the first time around. So to kind of summarize this, question review and edit is a little bit of a trap. Okay, you don't want to miss questions as you're going through the section and just think, oh, I can fix that later. Now, if it's a very hard question, if you recognize that this is the type of question that's going to have a high official difficulty, then it might be okay, right? Because you can miss more of those questions and still get a really good score in your section. You can go ahead and skip 1 or 2 or 3 of those, come back later, try them out, but be very selective about your use of question review and edit, particularly earlier on in each section. So just wanted to share a few of those thoughts. As I said before, the content across quant and verbal was very much consistent with the older version of the test. Really nothing new there, aside from the removal of geometry that they shared with us, and of course, percentage correction on the verbal no longer there. So that's my thoughts on the Focus Edition, and until next time.